Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I'm reviewing quite a special watch that was sent in. It was this one right here. Can you say custom movement, peripheral rotor, skeletonization at a pretty darn competitive price? All that and more in today's video. And guys, if you like this watch, check the link in the description below. It's not an affiliate link or anything, but it does bring them to the brand's website, so you can take a look. I don't want to spoil the surprise. Let's switch up the angle and check out this crazy watch. All right, guys, here we have another Code 41, the NB24 Chrono, their new release. Now, guys, I've reviewed Code 41 watches before. Very interesting Swiss company that takes a almost crowdfunding, but not quite sort of business model to their watches, but they're also completely transparent. They tell you where every single dollar of their watches goes to, and they even explain what their markup is. Very interesting concept. But this is the NB24 Chrono, a watch they just sent in for me to review, and it's not just any old small chronograph. Actually got quite a few horological tricks up its sleeve. Now, of course, before I get into my opinion, let me kind of give you all the specs of this. This is a skeletonized chronograph, entirely custom built with a peripheral winding rotor. See, there's no rotor in the back. It's dial side. Right here, there you can kind of see it moving. And the price is the best part, but I'll save that for last. This is made out of grade 5 titanium, but it also comes in aerocarbon. Of course, it has a sapphire crystal and superluminova. It's got 100 meters of water resistance, which for a chronograph is absolutely fantastic. It is 42 millimeters, so it's the right size for a modern watch. 78 grams, so not particularly heavy. Comes with interchangeable straps, and of course, my favorite part is this customized movement. Now, this is a customized only for Code 41 7750 architecture by Concepto, so cam-operated chronograph with entirely custom decorated bridges and a peripheral winding rotor. Now, you can see it still has, well, actually, no, it's got a customized right there regulation system as well. It still has the cam. The architecture is 7750, but it is entirely handmade for Code 41. Code 41 loves making these skeletonized watches. They use these cushion shapes quite a bit. And here we have a dual register chronograph with a date. Now you can pull out the screw. We have to unscrew the crown rather, hence the 100 meters of water resistance. Give it a little bit of a wind. It's a little harder than it looks with gloves. We'll get the chronograph started. So it is not a column wheel, it is cam, but once again, for the price, it is absolutely fantastic. Skeletonized dials with the sub-registers, which are not hands, they are moving dials. You can see the date. Very much a kind of an industrial design. You can see the sculpted lugs, skeletonization on the back, on the wrist, 42 millimeters. I have a 7.5 inch wrist. It wears quite well, so this will, I don't think it'll look great on the smallest of wrists, but on an average size wrist, it should fit fantastically. Now, I just love all the detail. You can see the custom polished bridge work with the dial's name, with the company's name rather. You can see that peripheral rotor as I move the watch. Very, very interesting. Actually, the brand Carl Bucher is pioneering peripheral rotor technology now and using it in quite a bit of their movements. Superluminova. It is quite thick, but once again, the 7750 is not a thin movement. Here we can see the Code 41 sight and crown. Screw down crown, 100 meters water resistance, which in a chronograph is fantastic. And right there, you can see the custom bridges. 35 jewels, Swiss made by Concepto, very high-end movement manufacturers, which doesn't make their own watches, but they make complications for brands. Now you can see that jewel right there where the winding rotor usually goes. On the back side, obviously it's moved to the front side. It is a peripheral winding rotor. And you can see the bead blasted and customized industrial finish on this movement, very far from just a normal 7750. Comes on this beautiful calf strap with a DePoint buckle. And actually, something they wanted me to mention is Swiss made. To be considered Swiss made, 60% of the value of your watch must originate from Switzerland. Only 60%, which is why some brands like Moser got upset and removed the mark altogether. Well, this, for a smaller brand, they tell me it is over 85% Swiss made. So well over the 60% minimum. Now, it isn't what is actually made in Switzerland, it's the value of the production. So 85% of the value of the production comes from Switzerland. I believe things like probably the sapphire crystal and the strap and probably the buckle are most likely imported from Asia. This is a limited edition timepiece. And get this, guys, for a peripheral rotor chronograph, entirely made for Code 41, in a titanium case, $3,480 is the starting price. I think that is a ton of value for money. Now, I'm under no kind of delusion that this design is probably not for everybody. In fact, it's a little industrial for my liking. However, that is obviously subjective, person to person. I can tell you, though, this watch shows some very good horological chops, and price point wise, it is absolutely fantastic. This is a brand with a very small production. They don't intend to be mass produced and liked by everybody. They don't have the capacity to produce tens of thousands of watches a year. These are all limited run pieces, and I think when something is limited run, you can kind of take liberties with the design and make something a little bit more unique. This NB24 chronograph is very bold. I mean, I'm just surprised a brand that is willing to share so much information of where everything is produced and how much everything costs can actually make a product which, horologically speaking, punches well above its weight. Guys, if you're interested in this watch or this brand, take a look in the description below. I have left a link to Code 41. Check them out, support them at the very least. Look at their website. They're doing some very interesting things in the watch space. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. Thank you so much and take care.